Let's talk arts and entertainment on WMAY. Tonight is the opening night for Requiem for a Brother, show from Coalescence Theater Project. I am joined by the playwright Kim, also joined by Don. Sandro, how are you guys?
Fine, thank you.
Well enough. Thank you for having us here.
Thanks for being here. So the show opens tonight. We talked a lot about it 2 weeks ago. We talked about everything's about. So a little rundown of what the show is about. Just a quick recap of what people can expect from Requiem for a Brother.
Kim, go ahead. I think this is best handled by you.
Yeah, it's a play based on the Greek tragedy Antigone by Sophocles, and I've set it in the Muslim American family in America during the Trump regime, 2019. And Antigone is a fascinating play because it gets reincarnated. She gets reincarnated every so often. There have been so many productions of Antigone all over the world and all over eras. And a very famous one was a French adaptation, which was produced by Vichy during the Vichy regime in France during World War II. But what's fascinating about it, it's a debate between the law of God and the law of man. And Antigone represents the law of God, and Creon, the king, the law of man. Very briefly, Antigone's two brothers, they're all children of Oedipus. Most people know Oedipus, but Antigone's two brothers went to war, one in support of Thebes and one fought against Thebes, which is their land, their homeland. And both brothers died, and the one who fought against Thebes was left to rot in the fields uncovered. That was his punishment, so he wouldn't find passage into the next life. That was decreed by Creon, who was his uncle, actually. And Creon said no one should cover the body. Antigone, the sister of the brothers, and Creon's niece, went out in the middle of the night and covered the body with dirt. Well, she was hauled in before Creon and she was told she couldn't do that. But she insisted and she was adamant about it. And she believed that the law of God superseded the law of man and that she had to cover her brother so it ensured his safe passage into the next world. And for that, I mean, they went back and forth and he pleaded with her not to do it and she insisted on doing it again. She was caught and eventually she was entombed alive, walled up. But when she did that, she killed herself. She hanged herself with a silk cord. But the other part of the story is that her betrothed was Creon's son. So she was betrothed to be engaged to be married to Creon, and he went in there and he tried to pull her from the tomb. And of course, she was dead, and he killed himself. When that news went home to Creon's wife, Eurydice, she killed herself too. So all of them died. Antigone died, Haman died, and Haman is the son, and the mother died. So it's quite tragic, but it outlines, this idea that the law of God ultimately reigns supreme, and there are ancient rituals and burials. And so my play is set in that milieu.
All right.
It's of course it's about a family whose brother went and fought with ISIS and wanted to come back, and he got killed there, and they won't let his body come in, and his sister Nazneen, who is the Antigone character, wants to bring the body back. And that's what the play's about. And she's at odds with the governor of the state, who is of course supported by the president.
Right. That's a very interesting, very cool take on the story. I'm very interested to see how it all plays out tonight. So you were just started the process about 2 weeks ago when I talked to you. So how has and this can be a question for both of you guys, of course. How has the rehearsal process gone for this? Some of the challenges, of course, doing some or most of it virtually, and how has it been rehearsing?
Go ahead, Don.
Most of this is a really heavily technical show, primarily because we're doing virtual theater. We're involving people that we wouldn't necessarily have involved in a show before, video editors, for instance. So there were some technical challenges with the show in creating a chorus.
Two of them.
Yeah, two choruses, yes. And being able to bring those choruses on to the screen. Here in StreamYard, we actually use the StreamYard platform. So that offered us some challenges that we had to overcome. And I think we've done it really admirably. We've had some really talented people working on the production. And I think we've given Kim's production play its due respect.
Yeah, that's great. And interesting about with the chorus, I know the choruses in this show are well, I'll have you guys talk about them a little bit, because Antigone and you're right, Antigone is one of those shows that I think probably a lot of people know the story of it a lot more than maybe they think, because it has been done so many times, so many different ways. Antigone, there was a production done in my SIU where the chorus was the jury. They were part of a courtroom when they did Antigone. So talk a little bit about the chorus and how they play into both the story and how it and of course the modern setting that it's set in. Who is basically the chorus in this?
Well, in the original, the chorus, of course, in Greek drama, particularly in Greek tragedy, the chorus tends to represent either the citizens of the state or very often the conscience of the people. And they don't actually take sides, but they exhort people to do the right thing. They keep pushing and advising and all of that, right? In this instance, I have created two choruses. One is a chorus of white supremacist men who are in the governor's ear, trying to stop him from letting Nazanin bring her brother back. And the other is a chorus of women of color who are supporting Nazanin. And by supporting, I mean, they offer her advice, they offer her comfort, they offer her succor, but they don't actually tell her what to do. They tried earlier, they say, but only because they're afraid that she would get into trouble. Now she's determined to do this, and so they go on. One of the interesting things about Antigone, both historically and in this instance as well, is that Antigone is a very difficult person. She is focused, single-minded. She doesn't pay any attention to anyone, including her own family. Her sister tries to tell her not to do these things because she'll get into trouble. But she is laser focused on doing this, and she's not a very easy person to love by both sides. But what people have admired her for over the years and over the centuries is that she stands up for her principles. She believes in the law of God. And she believes the law of God supersedes everything. And she believes her brother needs to have a burial. And so she is determined to do that at the cost of her own life. And there's a great heroism in that action as well, in her character there. So and the same thing here, we see Antigone, Nazanin, the Antigone character, at odds with her own sister Basima, and at odds with other people in the play who are ostensibly on her side, but she's focused.
Yeah, that is so interesting. That all goes how like that. Yeah, that is. So with the show, it will be streamed live, and Don, we were talking about all sorts of different video editors and everything going into it. So how will people be able to watch it? Well, first, before I ask how people watch it, I've seen, and I think you guys have done a couple of your productions. There's usually like a talk back afterwards to talk about. Are you guys going to be doing that as well?
Oh yes, we'll be having the talk back after the production. That's an important feature of what we do.
Yeah.
The play is going to be live streamed on Facebook Live as well as YouTube Live on April 23rd, 24th, 25th at 7:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time, in case somebody's listening from a different time zone. But afterwards there will be the talk back, and that's essential in a production like this where you have the playwright involved, and the playwright wants input on the play.
Yes, that's awesome.
And sorry, all people have to do is to type into search Coalescence Theatre Project on Facebook as well, or on YouTube, Coalescence Theatre Project. And once you come up on that page, you'll see by 7:15 or so, or 7:10, 7:15, you'll see that the live stream has started, but the play will begin at 7:30.
Cool. And so will the play also? Oops, sorry. So will the play be available after this weekend as well? People will be able to watch it, or do you have to catch it this weekend?
Don?
If they want to be part of the talkback, then they should be streaming it this weekend. With the permission of the playwright, we may have it up for a little bit longer.
Okay. Very cool. So, so make sure you see it this weekend, because you will be able to participate in that talkback if you want to listen to everything going on, and you will see what is, I'm sure, going to be a great play. Sounds very interesting, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Everybody, break a leg tonight, and that starts at 7:30. You can find Coalescence Theatre Project on Facebook and YouTube.
Kevin, thank you so much.
Thank you, Kevin.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys. Let's Talk Arts and Entertainment on WMAY.